Welcome everyone. I am Ron. We are going to start out with just a nice, easy, arms back, finding our chair, finding our position, taking a couple breaths. It's pretty early here yet, so I want to take it slow. Shoulders are back, chest is out, chin is up. Remember, you always want to remember that. You want that neutral posture, ear over the shoulders. So if you take your shoulders and roll them all the way back, stretching out the chest, stretching out the front of those shoulders, and then just release lightly, they should fall right underneath the ears. That is right over the hips. Feet are forward, knees, I had to look to make sure. Knees, toes, and hip all pointed forward. You want to have that stacked alignment all the way. You don't put any stress on a part of the joint. So first thing is just arms up on the sides. Bring them up only as high as is comfortable for you, whatever works for you as far as bringing those arms up and back down. Start breathing a little deeper, a little higher if you can get those shoulders up just a little bit more. We want to warm the shoulders up, make sure that we get them all ready to get some weight resistance against them. And a couple more, a little bit higher now. And exhale as you bring it down. Last one up on the side, sweep over the top. Deep breath in and bring it down. We're going to go front to back this time. So get those arms behind you as far as you can, not leaning forward, using the muscles in the back of the shoulders to lift that arm up. And come on forward. So don't just swing them. Make sure you're in control of that movement all the way through. Up. Start rolling the shoulder blades back, opening up the chest, opening up the front chain. And back again. Far as you can get them. Hopefully you're getting a little more movement through the shoulders now, starting to warm up. Getting some flexibility in there, some fluid within that joint. One more time back. And up into a goalpost. This right here, arms out at the side, shoulder blades back. Cactus, if you're a yoga person. Bring the elbows together, keeping the shoulder blades back. You want to stretch that upper back. So bring the arms together and back again. Shoulder blades back, chest out. Again, you want to make sure that you've got that neutral posture, straight line from the back of the head to the tailbone. As you bring the arms forward, don't let yourself lean into it so you can get the elbows to touch. Only go as far. I can't get them to touch. Only go as far as you can. Feel the stretch through the upper back, across the shoulder blades, and then bring the arms back out again. We're going to go up overhead. If you were backed up against a wall, this would be the wall slide. Bring the hands up over the top. Shoulder blades are tight together in the back. And then bring them back down again. Range of motion. Range of motion is up to you, your body, your joints. They'll tell you where you can go, what you can do. So you reach up as high as you can, as high as is right. Remember, every day is different. Every class and every day is different. You'll have a little more flexibility in one than the other. Up. Day to day, huge differences can happen. I notice it in doing classes from one day to the next that I can do something one day and 2 days later, I don't have it. Balance is a good one on that one. All right, here we go. Grab onto your, these are thighs. Grab onto your thighs. Hands on top. Shoulders come forward, rounding out the back. So bring it down. Chin comes to the chest on this one. Only time you'll do that today. Chin to chest, roll the shoulders, have this big bowl out here in front. And then take and chest out, shoulder blades back. Deep breath through the nose here, get it down deep in the lungs. And then exhale as you come forward again, stretching out that upper back, getting a little more bend. So you should feel the stretch going about halfway, 3/4 of the way down the back here. And bring it down back to center. All right, we're just going to take a nice, easy off to the side. Don't push hard. Not yet. You'll push hard later. Oh, don't worry. Take the hand at a diagonal. Don't let the sits bone come off the chair. You want to stay firmly planted and rolling both shoulders. So it's not just taking one arm and reaching across. It's taking the shoulder girdle, shoulder to shoulder, and rotating the whole thing. Only movement you get through your back is through the middle of the back, the thoracic spine. So you want to make sure that you're getting that rotation, not getting into the hips, knees, toes are all together, but getting those shoulders to rotate, getting that upper back to rotate. And reach. and reach. We're going to do the same thing right across the front. Push out. Take the hand, rotate as you go out, so you're rotating within the socket, and then the other side. Always pushing that back shoulder. Push it back as far as you can get it, trying to keep those shoulders as straight as possible. Don't let yourself twist or turn. Your cue on this is making sure that the knees, hips, and toes line up. And reach out, and reach, and bring it back in. Shake that out. We're going to go into a side bend, so arms down at the sides, bringing that left arm up first over the top, and just getting that arm up, reaching at a diagonal again. You want to feel the stretch going all the way up the side of the torso, through the shoulder, through the arm, just a little bit. We're going to get a little deeper stretch here. But for right now, use that hand that's going down as ballast to help that other one come up and over, and reach on the other side. Again, it's a diagonal reach. We're just getting that. Shoulder is a universal joint. So we want to make sure that we get it rotating in all directions. And other side. Reach. And bring it back down again. Leg out to the side. Just tap out. And bring it back in. Be careful with this one. What happens a lot is when you bring the leg up, there's a tendency to kind of lean forward, let the chin come to the chest. Remember, you've always got that spacing between your chin and the chest. I have this just as a prop to show. Tennis ball. This is the one that we always use. This should be what you should be away from the chest at all times, as if it was always planted right there. Step out, bring it in, chest is out. You're just working the outsides of the hips right now to warm those up, get the hip moving. It loves to lock up. Out and back, out and bring it back. So you're coming straight out to the sides and bring it back in, toe pointed out. So don't let your leg roll. That's a whole different, I got that coming later. Don't get ahead of me. Step out and in, out and in. This time, as you step out with the right leg, take that right arm, reach the opposite direction, rotating the shoulders. You want to get as much distance as you can from tip of the toe up to the fingertips. And bring it back. Other side, out, stretch that leg out. And again, rotating the shoulders, reach, and bring it back in. How far out your leg goes. Again, that's really based on your abilities, your limitations of the joints, where you're at right this minute, where you're at overall to be able to move those joints like that. Being in Becky's class, I'm sure you are very limber and that this is no problem for you. Out and back. But always remember, listen to your body. All it wants to do is take care of itself. All right. So hands up over the top this time. Both arms. Bring them up. Roll the shoulder blades back. Now we're going to go into a side bend with both arms. Make sure that ear is staying on the inside of the upper arm as you come over the top. Get a real nice arch in there. Get that arm up, elbow over the head, and then coming back down the other side. Make sure you get those shoulder blades back. Chest is out. Spine only does one thing at a time. Come on back up. We're going to go to the other side. Right now we're doing that side bend. You want to make sure you're not leaning forward, doing a front bend or a rotation. One thing at a time for the spine. It is not a multitasker. Take that top hand, pull yourself back up over the top, and arms down. Hand on the outside of the thigh. So left hand outside the right thigh. Take that right hand, grab onto either the seat of the chair or the back of the chair. Starting out, we're going to do a rotation, but before you do, make sure the chest is out, chin is up, tennis ball right in there. Taking that back arm and rotating it. Front arm's pushing against the leg so that this doesn't move, so that shoulder stays right out front. So just a little bit of pressure. Turning it. Make sure you keep those shoulder blades back and chest out, looking right straight out in front. No tweaking in the lower back. If you feel anything in the lower back, abort. Get out of it immediately. Deep breath in here. Roll the shoulder blades back one more time, and then come back to center again. Same on the other side. Hand outside of the thigh, grab onto the back of the chair. Before you start to rotate, make sure you've got those shoulder blades back, looking right out in front. Worst thing, and I didn't realize this until I started teaching, I would look at the floor and I would always tweak my back, and I didn't understand. I thought this was a bad exercise. But done right, it is an excellent exercise. It goes about 3/4 of the way down the back. Nice rotation through the thoracic spine. Great stretch all the way up the spine, both sides. And relax, release. Take the hands right here next to the head. And push. Rotate the hand as you go. And down. And up. And back down. Make sure you're getting that rotation in there as you go up. Getting as much flexibility into that shoulder as you can. Working those muscles in as many different directions. Working that joint. Getting it moving. All right, both hands up. We're going to go into a rope climb. So pull down this time instead of pushing up. Tighten up those muscles in the hand. Clench the fist. Roll the shoulder blades back as you do this, keeping your neutral position. And pull down. Reach up with that arm. Other side, you're raising those shoulders up, getting some stretch through that shoulder blade. But don't pick your hips up off the seat. Don't lean to the side as you're doing this. You get no extra stretch if you take the whole body up there. Reach and reach. Bring it down. Shake it out. Little shoulder rolls right here. Little tiny. Nothing big yet. Going backwards. So you can go as big as is right for you. Going around. You can make it a little easier by bending the elbows. Going into that cactus or goalposts. How far out you take that hand is really completely up to you. Shoulders are really susceptible to injuries. So you want to take it easy with them, but you also want to make sure that they're prepared, that they're always warmed up and ready to go. So I do palms up on the way up, rotate the hand at the top, and palms down on the way down. Again, getting that rotation within the socket itself. Let's go forward, starting small again. Just get a feel for that. You want the chest out, shoulder blades back. So first thing I do, as soon as I do this, I just roll forward. Chin comes to chest. I always have to remind myself. And that's one thing with exercising is you should always be totally conscious of the movements that you're doing. You should feel it. You should know what it's supposed to feel like, where you should feel it, and then you can work to get it there. So this one's just that rotation through the shoulders and bring the arms down. All right, let's get to the lower body. Shoulders have had enough. Chest has had enough. We're going to take it and just lift the leg up a little bit and bring it back down. So to start out with this one, you're out at the edge of the chair. And let's start there. So if you're on the back of the chair's doing all the work. Core doesn't have to. Chair's holding the legs up. The farther out you go on that chair, the more the core has to work. But you don't want to go so far out that you can't hold the shoulders up and that you lean forward. You always want to have this. So the way to modify this is just to walk your way out a little farther out in the chair, eventually getting out to that glute fold between the leg and the butt. Starting out, picking that leg up and back down. Slowly, if you want, a good way to start out with this until the legs warm up is to just bring those heels up a little at a time and then start bringing just the ball of the foot off the floor. Remember, you're bringing the heel up first, then the ball of the foot, tapping back down slowly. Don't clomp the foot back down. Muscle control works those fine motor muscles. Those are what sends the signals from the brain down to my brain wasn't signaling very well, signaling down to the extremities. So those fine motor muscles are really important to control movement, make it smooth, and also increase your reaction time. So as you're doing this, you should be able to get that knee up just a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher now. Up and up. Make sure the shoulders are staying back. Chest is out. Chin is up. Tennis ball right there. And up. Up. One more time each side. And back down. All right, we're going to take hand behind the thigh. So to start out with this, I want to use the arm to give us a little help. I want you to take hand behind the thigh, lift the leg up, make sure the shoulder blades are back and chest is out. We're going to take and do an arc out to the side, making sure that you don't turn. There's no extra stretch that comes on that inner thigh, no work on the outer thigh or outer hip if you're rotating the whole body. So it's up. Sits bones stay right where they are. Load. The weight should not change the distribution from side to side. And bring it back in and down. Again, behind the thigh, making sure you got those shoulder blades back. Chest is out. Up and out. Knee and toe always need to be together. What likes to happen is we're really tight on the inner thigh, those muscles, and the heel wants to stay in as the knee goes out. And that's not what you want. You only go out as far as that foot is able to get out as well. Again, alignment, knee and toe. And down one more time. Pick it up. Take it out. This time we're going to do a rotation. Use the arm. Let the leg relax so you can get that motion through this hip joint and around. It's way early for me. Bring it around the other way. And back to center and set it down. Other side. Leg up. Shoulder blades back. Always find your neutral before you start. Bring it out to the side, just out to the side. Use the hand to help a little bit. Bring it back in. Keep the muscles loose in the thigh, in the hip. Out again. Feel a little more stretch on that inner thigh, just a little bit. Don't overdo the groin muscles. Don't go too far with this one when you come out, especially because you've got the hand to help you here. You can really crank on that leg, and those groin muscles are not going to like that. In and back down one more time. Up, out. Stationary leg. Make sure the knee is over the toes, keeping in alignment. Little rotations. Back and forward. And using that arm, bring it back. Set it down. Relax. One more, then we'll take a quick break. All right, what we're going to do is take and walk the toes out. So feet, again, right underneath the knees. Toes out to the side. Watch the knees. Make sure they don't collapse or go to the outside. So we want to just out, heels out. So what you want to feel is all of the movement happening within that ankle joint. Out, and then bring it back in. So instead of bringing the knees in to help bring the heels in, you want all the movement, rotation through the ankles. Ankles get really tight. And if you lose that flexibility in the ankles, feet are the base for all of your walking. You lose that flexibility in there. Anything gets under your foot, you go over because you don't have the ability, that foot doesn't have the ability to move. And because we walk on blacktop and sidewalks all the time, we lose that flexibility that we get from walking on uneven surfaces, grass, things like that in the park. One more time. Out, out. So you can do this exercise anytime. I would recommend it. In, and in. All right, I said that was the last one. I lied completely. This is the last one. Heels up. Ball of the foot on the floor all the way across, inside to outside. So don't let your feet roll out to the outside. Work these muscles on the inner thigh to hold the foot flat. Again, you want the foot flat, as much surface area as possible. Your feet are the base of support. It starts everything all the way up. If they're out of alignment, every joint above it is out of alignment and putting stress on the joint, causing all sorts of problems, plus puts you out of balance. Heels up and back down, up, flexing in the ankles, getting these muscles to work in the back of the lower leg, and back down one more time. Bring it up. Feel the ball of the foot all the way across, great toe to little toe, and back down. We're going to bring the toes up. So this is all part of this. Heels up, so it's still the last one. Up, I didn't lie again, and back down. You should feel this, the muscles in the front of the lower leg, those along the shin, bringing that foot up and back down. Actually, you should feel this all the way to from the top of the foot, going up about halfway up the shin, up and back down. This is a very small move, but it's really important to have that strength to lift the toe, especially when you're going upstairs, lifting up over anything. Going up a curb, you want to be able to get that toe up. Otherwise, you trip on that as if it's hanging down. One more time. Up and back down again. That was the last one. Grab yourself a drink of water. We're still going to do, you don't need the weights yet. We're not stretched. This is stretch and strength. Equal time for both. I work a lot with ankle flexibility. It's really important to me that you get that stretch through those joints as well. Sometimes that gets kind of lost. And in balance classes or falls prevention classes, those ankles are just key to everything. If you think about it, body stacks, joints are supposed to stack one on top of each other so the weight is distributed all the way down. If the feet are out at an angle, anything like that when you walk, this is real common, one foot out to the side. Think about that, the knees pointing forward, the toes pointing this way. That joint is being turned, and then you're asking it to go forward, back, at the same time that it's turned, putting a lot of stress on a little part of that joint instead of distributed all the way around it. All right, I'm done talking. You ready? I'm going to go back to the ankles again. Out. Let me move back. Out and back in. One leg at a time. Shoulder blades back. Don't lose your neutral. Out. Always keep a little bend in the knees. Don't lock it out. Stretch it out and bring it back. And again, flexibility in the ankles, taking those muscles in the front, stretching them out, holding it there for a little bit. Plus, you're working the muscles in the back of the leg to pull that heel up. Now you're using the front to pull the toe up. Other side, same thing. Again, neutral position, toe back as far as you can get it, and then out and in. You can take the heel up off the floor if you want. Work those hip flexors just a little bit more in the front of the leg to lift it. Or if you need to, just put the heel on the floor lightly. And down and up. And okay. That was the last one of those. We're going to do shoulder rotation. So hands right out in front. Shoulders are back. Find your neutral first. If you take the shoulders and you roll them down into the pockets, as they say, those shoulder blades come down. You're going to feel the muscles working on the outside of the upper back coming down. Those are the ones that are contracting to pull the shoulders down. That's automatically going to bring your chin up, chest out, and put that curve in the lower part of the back that is neutral, that is needed. All right, we're going to take the hands and rotate. Fingers down, around. Again, don't lock the elbows out. Make sure you've got a little bend in them. And all the way in. Out again. Reach. Bring it back. Turn that hand as far as you can get it, as far as you can get it. And back. Don't let the shoulders roll in. Don't let the chin come to the chest. We like to think we have a little more rotation. By putting ourselves in this position, that is not doing anything for the stretch in the shoulders. You want to keep neutral. You want to keep those arms straight and down and just have the rotation happen through the arms. Shake that out. Hey, Rick, bringing the leg up. What are we doing next? Up and out. Tap and bring it in. So that thing we did before with using the arms, we've got that warmed up. Muscles are a little stronger now. Bring it up. They're more willing to work with us. And back in. Take your time. Up, out, tap the toe if you need to, or slide the toe along the ground if you have to. But if you can, try to get it up it's just a glide just above the carpeting or the floor and back down, up, knee and toe, always in the same direction. You only go as far as you can maintain that. So the first thing that happened to me was that other leg went out to the side. We don't want that. We want to strengthen the muscles up, holding it in place. Because remember, whenever you're moving, we're going to do one more each side. Out. Whenever you're moving, like in this case, the hips, to bring it around, every other muscle in your body is working to maintain your neutral position, your alignment. So we're actually working the entire body with every exercise. Arms up, elbows together, leg up, arm up, out to the side, in and back down, other side up and out, in and down. You want to make this into more of a brain exercise, working the brain just a little harder. Rewiring where you've lost some wiring up there. Opposite sides, out and back in. If you can work left and right at the same time while and upper and lower body, that forces the brain to work just that much harder. Up. Every strength exercise can be a brain exercise if we do it right. Up, out, in, and down. Bring the arms down. What I'm going to do on this one is take the foot out, grab onto the bottom of the chair, roll the shoulder blades back. Lift that leg just a little bit off the floor and set it back down again. Let me switch legs. Get the camera side. Shoulder blades are back, chest is out. Working these hip flexors on the front. Up and back down. So if you can get out of that chair a little bit, use the chair to hold the shoulder blades back, keeping that curve in the lower part of the back so that you don't hurt it. As you come up, make sure the hip, knee, and toe are in the same direction. Pointing all in alignment, right up and back down one more time. Up and back in. Other side. Same thing. Relax the toe. Make sure the shoulder blades are back and chest is out. And back down. So again, if you do this from the back of the chair and lift up and come down, there's not a whole lot of work being done by the hip flexors. Those are what we need to lift that leg up. And back down, which lifting the leg up is everything to movement. And back down. Up. And down one more time. Grab onto the chair. Make sure you've got those shoulder blades back. And down, bring the foot in. Going back to the other side, same thing. But this time up. Tuck the knee, back out, and down. This is when you really want to make sure you've got the back of the chair, or palms down on the back of the chair. It's another way to do it. Roll the shoulder blades back. This really puts you in the position. It's going to protect that back completely. Up, in, because now the shoulders, there's no way they're going to go forward because you've got your weight back on those hands. And down. Up. In tight, out long, and down, up. Bring it in, squeeze it together, take it out, and down. Other side, same thing. Get that leg extended, find your neutral, make sure that you've got the head up. Tennis ball, squeeze, out. So these are very separate movements. Again, it's that working the fine motor muscles, getting those skills, getting that smooth movement, that fluid movement that helps you so much, protects the joints. So you're picking the foot up first, and then you're bringing it in, squeezing those muscles in the front of the hip, lower abs, and then extending back out. You're going to feel this in the quadriceps as well. Out, and then back down. Tap the heel lightly. Control every inch of this. Up. In, out, and down. Bring that in. We're going to do just the quadriceps this time. So we're knee extension on this. Again, shoulder blades back. Pick the knee up just a little bit. Doesn't have to go up very far. Extend at the knee, making sure that toe, knee, and hip are all in alignment. Bring it back in and down. So it's up. Heel comes up first, then the ball of the foot. Extend. This is strengthening the quadriceps. This is just a gait pattern. This is just how you would walk. You'd pick the heel up, then come off the ball of the foot. You would step forward, coming down on the heel, and back down. One more time. Up, out, in, and down to the other side. Pick it up. Get your neutral position first. Ron, do that. I have to remind myself every time. And down. Make sure the stationary leg's staying right where it is. Check out that knee toe. Make sure they're in alignment, right straight out. In and down. Again, inner thighs get really tight. And the foot will roll out to the outside like that. The toes will. You need to bring them in using all the muscles to turn that leg in, because that's where you always want to be. If you can strengthen them up in that position, in that form, in that alignment, Once they're strong, they're automatically going to go there. You don't have to think about it anymore. Out, in. When you're walking, you don't have to think about it. You do when you're exercising. All right, we're going to put that together. We are foot up, leg out, tap the heel, lift, bring it in for a tuck, and back down. So again, shoulder blades back, don't lean forward. Knee up, heel first, then ball of the foot. Extend out that knee as far as it'll go. Drop the heel to the floor slowly. Tap it lightly. Bring it up off the floor just a little bit. Knee in for that tuck. And then back down again. So here we're working hip flexors to pick that leg up. Quadriceps to extend. Hip flexors. Oh, sorry. Down, hip flexors. Up. Then come in for the tuck. Squeeze it. And back down. Other side 2 times. Knee up. Extend at the knee. Drop that heel down lightly. Tap it. Up. Squeeze. And down. Again, this really promotes gait pattern so that when you're walking, you have that proper gait. You lift the leg up. You extend at the knee. You put the heel to the floor. Up. In. And back down. Working those hip flexors lifts the leg up. So every one of these, we're not using weights, but we are doing strengthening exercises. The slower you take it, the longer the muscles are under tension. Strength comes from time under tension. All right. What do we have next? Tell you what, it's time to grab the weights. Let's do that. Grab a drink of water, grab your weights. These are upper body strength exercises. You can do them standing or seated. It's up to you. If you're doing them standing, you want to make sure. So one of the advantages of standing exercises is that you work the core a lot more because now you have to hold yourself in place, working all the bodies, all the muscles in the body as you're doing that upper body movement. Seated, the chair does a lot of the work for you. But if you at this point in time are not there, you don't have that strength to be able to do it standing, form is before everything else. So whatever it takes to maintain your form. 2 weights, palms in. We're going to do curls. I'm going to show them standing. If you're seated, get comfortable. Shoulder blades back. First, make sure you're in neutral position, standing or seated. Little bend in the knees. Elbows pointing right down toward the floor. Farther the weight is away from the body, the harder the muscles have to work. So for this one, as a modification, if that is too much, bring the elbows back behind you a little bit. And then it's like adjusting the weight. It's like switching from a 5-pound weight down to a 3-pound weight, depending on how far you get those elbows back. Where you want to be eventually is right here, elbows right next to the torso. And get that swing out there, elbows at 90, hold, and bring it back down. We're going to make this into a brain exercise. So one goes up. As it's coming down, the other one comes up. Meet in the middle and down. Again, control. That slow motion works the brain as far as having to send those signals, both arms going opposite directions, up and down. Keep the shoulder blades back. So a lot of times with this one, we'll roll forward as we're doing it or put the weight into the toes. Maintain neutral, up, and back. And it is really important to do exercises like this, slow, controlled, getting those fine motor muscles. It does so much for your reaction time. You're able to move so much quicker, make decisions faster, leap tall buildings in a single bound. Up, wait, that's different. And up, one more time. One up, now the other side up. And back down. Both arms down. Palms back. Nope, sorry. Palms facing in. Shoulders together, or elbows into the torso. We're going to start out with a side raise, elbows out, and back in. The only thing you should feel moving are the shoulders, working that deltoid on the outside of the shoulder. It contracts, lifting that arm up, and then back down. You want to prevent against shoulders coming up to the ears. Keep them down. Make sure you're using just the muscles on the outside of the shoulder. Stronger those muscles are around the shoulder, the more stable the shoulder is, and the more it's protected. If you were to fall, the stronger the muscles are, the more shock they'll take without transferring it to the bones. Plus, your bones are stronger. I mean, it's just good all the way around. Up and back down. One more time. Up and bring it back down. And arms are down. So for this one, we're going to go into a stagger step. If you're in a chair, bring the feet about hip width or shoulder width apart, a little wider there. You're going to lean forward. As you do, make sure those shoulder blades are back. You got a little curve in the lower part of the back. Don't just lay down on top of the thighs. Keep those shoulder blades together. Every exercise is a posture exercise. You've got to hold those shoulder blades back. That helps put you in that neutral position. If you're standing, we're going to go into a stagger step. Right foot out front, left foot back, toes pointing in the same direction. Don't let the back foot roll out. That's a warrior. That's yoga. I don't do yoga. All right, knee over the ankle on the front leg. Keep it right there. We're going to go into a hip hinge from here. So it's shoulder blades back, just like seated. You're going down, putting yourself over that front leg, not letting the shoulders roll down. Keep them back. Elbows back, right here, as far as you can get them. Extend at the elbow. Don't lock out at the very end. That puts all kinds of stress on that shoulder or in that elbow joint. Muscles are supposed to do the work to hold it, not locking the joint in place. Not made for that. Out, hold, and back in. We're going to alternate. Left. Left comes in, right goes out. Make sure that wrist is staying straight all the way. Don't let it bend as you bring the weight up. No flopping through the wrists. One up, one down. Up. So that weight should always be perpendicular to the arm. Up and out. Working those triceps in the back of the upper arms. Make sure you got those shoulder blades together yet to keep the chest up. Straight line from the back of the head all the way down to the tailbone. Out. And out. And we're there. Drop that down. Single weight. Single weight. Seated. This is just seated. If you're in a standing position, we're going to go back to that stagger. Let's put the left foot out front this time. Knee stays over the ankle at all times. Again, what you want to prevent against is that knee flipping out or caving in. So using those muscles, tighten them up. Makes the knee a lot stronger when you hold it in place. Ankles and hips all lined up. Put the weight in front of the torso or in front of the chest. Elbows out to keep the shoulder blades back. I like this move the way it is because it forces the shoulders into a straight line all the way across. You're going to roll the shoulders. Don't let that knee drop out. If you do, you're probably getting the hips involved. Lower back does not rotate. It just pulls the muscles back there. It's like an electric cord. Back to center. Turn it. So when you try to get an electric cord around a corner and it doesn't go, it's the same thing. You're just going to stretch it. Muscles don't stretch that well. Not like that. So elbows out, shoulder blades back, straight line. Shoulders go around. Eyes stay over the weight. And bring it back to center one more time. Take it around. And back. We're working the obliques here on that rotation. We're going to do the other side. So switch off with your stagger step. Toes parallel. Get the form first. Shoulder blades are back. Weight's right in front of the chest. Keep the weight right here. If you go out with the weight, which some people do, it brings the shoulders forward. Now you're putting stress on the lower back as you rotate. So you've got it bent and you're rotating it at the same time. It's going to scrape along one part of the vertebrae. All right, here we go. Around. Shoulders back. and bring it back to center. Nice and slow. Take your time with this. Be conscious of that knee, of the hip. You don't want to feel this move at all. So as you're coming around, plant that foot flat on the floor in the front leg. Make sure you can feel the floor all the way underneath. And back one more time. Take it around. And bring it back again. Again, now if you're seated, this is going to be the same either way. Shoulder blades are back. We're going to do a front raise, holding the weight. Another thing I like about using a single weight is when you grab the ends, those bells, you're working the wrists. The fingertips are so important. We lose such strength, our grip strength, plus forearm. So single weight, hold on to the ends. We're going to take it up in front. So when you get here, get those shoulder blades back. If this is too much, start bending those elbows back and make it a smaller movement. The farther the weight is from the torso or the body, the heavier it is. Well, the more muscle required to move it and down. So single weight up, hold, and back down nice and slow. Working this deltoid in the front of the shoulder. So that's what's doing the work. This muscle right out front here, there's 3 muscles around the shoulder socket. We're working that front one. It lifts, muscle contracts, lifting the arm, and back down again. From right here, we're going to go into a raise. So bring it up, shoulders back, elbows together, working those muscles in the shoulder, between the shoulder blades, and then dropping back down again. So it's up, elbows out, squeeze them together, and back down. So this is an upright row. Only bring the arms up as far as you can get them. If the shoulder starts to hurt as you get it higher, stop. Wherever that is, just stop right there and bring it down. Don't stress those muscles out. Up. If they're already causing you some pain, it's just going to get worse if you keep going. And back down. Bring it up to the chest. Hold right here. Next one we're going to do with this one is a chest press. So this is going to work the muscles in the front. Up, out, not up. Bring it in. Wait right here. So only go out as far as you can maintain the shoulders back. You're rolling the shoulders forward, getting a stretch through the upper back. That's working the muscles on the outside of the chest. So you should be feeling this all the way across through the pecs, from the shoulders, all the way to the middle of the chest. Out and back in. Out and in. We're going to put that together. We are. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go up in that forward raise, bring the weight in, back out to a chest press, and back down. Did that wrong. Up in front, out, hold, and then the weight goes down. Nice and slow. Again, elbows out to the side, shoulders stay in a straight line, grip that weight, get to here, and then you're going to push out in front as far as is comfortable for you, that you don't collapse forward, and then bring it back down. Going the opposite direction. Here we go. Starting up. I got it. Elbows out, bring it into the chest, drop it down. As long as you keep those shoulder blades together, keep the back in neutral the whole way through this, you'll always be working that upper back as well as the chest. And back down nice and slow. One more time. Bring it up. In and down. One more, then we get rid of the weights. Going to do one side at a time. If you're seated, this is going to be a hip hinge again. One leg out. You're going to come down over those legs, arm to the front. We're just going to do a narrow row, bringing the elbow back and out again. If you're standing, this is stagger. I need one of those, you know how a lot of those videos have 2 people, one showing the modification? I need that. I've asked my wife. She goes, "You're kidding, right?" Okay. Well, she actually has to work. She doesn't get to have fun like I do. Stagger step, knee over the ankle, elbow back, Squeeze it. What you're looking for here is not letting yourself turn as you come around. That's why this hand is on the thigh. It is holding this shoulder in place. It doesn't move. Just that arm comes back, shoulder blade squeezes, bringing that elbow back around and forward again. So it's lawnmower, snowblower. Well, you don't have snow anymore. Out and back in. Back stays in a straight line. The more you come down into that hip hinge, the harder this exercise is in a good way, but only go as far as you can, keeping that back straight and out. Make sure the weight isn't in the toes as well. And out one more time. Bring it back. And out. We're going to add to that, as long as we're here, out to the side. Elbow stays bent. The only thing that's working are those muscles on the outside of the shoulder blade going toward the spine. It's bringing that shoulder around and back down again. So you've got a little bend in the elbow, but there's no hinging there. This is out to the side and back in. Weight should always be parallel with the torso. Back. Again, only come back as far as is comfortable for you. You can modify this by bringing that weight in closer to the torso and just coming around. Becomes more of a rotator cuff exercise at that point when you do that. Out here gets more into the shoulder blade and bring it back down. But it's up to you. It's what your body can handle. Knee over the ankle, arm out. Find your neutral. Back of the head, all the way to the tailbone, straight line. We're going to bring it in, narrow row, and back out. If we had more time, we would put this all together. We're not going to. And out. Bring it in. See if you can start getting yourself over that front leg. This is really uncomfortable for a lot of people. They like to stay up high. Notice as I move, that weight doesn't change. It stays right parallel with the torso. Elbow back and out. So here you've got a little more gravity working for you, against you, making this exercise just a little more intense if you're up for it. Back and down. So hand on the thigh keeps the shoulders from rotating. If you can do it without the hand on the thigh and not let those shoulders turn, now you're using the core instead of that arm. Up, around, and down, out to the side. Reach out, touch someone, bring it back in. Up, shoulder blades back. Nothing is moving. Every muscle in your body is holding tight, contracted to hold you right where you are, so that the only thing moving is that shoulder. I think that's such an important piece. I always did. That every muscle works for every movement. Core especially. Nothing happens, no movement happens until the core tightens up, because it needs to set you right over your base of support and hold you there in a straight line. Out and in. Last one. Squeeze it and bring it back. We got all these muscles up. All right, put the weights down. You're done with those. You're done. Make sure you get some water in you. Get hydrated. And we'll go on to the last piece. You can use the chair on this one. So upper body, we use the weights. You can pretty much keep your upper body in position. Lower body's a little harder. When you go into those squats, kind of chin goes to the chest. People, I see it mostly, chin to the chest, looking down at the floor, and then using that lower back to pull back up again. What you want to do when you come up is squeeze the glutes, roll the hip underneath, and then lift right straight up. So all the work is being done by these big muscles, calves, quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes. Instead of pushing through the toes where the weight's out front and you kind of push up using the toes, that goes right through the meniscus of the knee. You want to keep weight out of those toes. Those are for balance, not to weight bear. Hands on the back of the chair. We're going to practice that again. The squat. Back down. Here you go. Pushing up on the back of the chair to keep the shoulder blades back as you come down. Knees go over the toes, but not past them. Again, if they go past, you're going to push through that knee to come back up. And what you want to do is roll that hip underneath and push up. Anytime you're picking something up off the floor, bags of groceries, you roll and come up through the back half of the foot. I'll say use the heel. I mean the back half of the foot, usually from the arch back to the heel. Roll underneath, come underneath, and push right straight up through that heel. Don't lock the knees at the top. Down. So we're working these muscles, tighten them up, but we're using the chair only so that it shows us our form. It gives us a little assist in making sure that we keep our form. One more time. Down. Roll the hip underneath and push up. You're not always going to have a chair, which I realize, but if you can strengthen those muscles up, when you don't have it, they're going to go right there because that's where it's strong. And strongest muscles will always take the cake. All right, step back from the chair. We're going to do a hip hinge instead this time. Knees over the ankles. All you're going to do is let that butt go back. It is the only thing that happens. Knees stay over the ankles all the way. To come back in, squeeze the hamstrings, squeeze the glutes. So you push your heels into the chair. Concentrate on the knee staying right over the ankle. As you push up, shoulder blades are back, chest is out, kind of in a plank here. Back down, butt out. Feel the stretch through the hamstrings, back of the thighs as you come down. And back up. Most of the exercises we do involve a hip hinge because these glutes and hamstrings have to be strong so that when you are lifting things, you can keep yourself in that neutral position and not use the lower back to come back up. So when I say use the lower back, I mean where people faces down, chin's right by the chest. First of all, head's below the heart, which is bad. And they bring the head up first, then the shoulders, and then come up. That's all lower back. Those muscles are not that big. They're not meant to pull up that much weight. Back to that hip hinge where we were before, coming down. Shoulder blades are back, chest is out. Take the left leg, step it back. So right here, find your neutral. Make sure your shoulder blades are down, little arch in the lower part of the back. What we're going to do is pick one foot up off the floor just a little bit and then drop it back down again. So it's up and back down, working the core. What the body's going to want to do is twist as soon as you take that leg out from underneath that's holding you up. You need to use the core muscles to help you stay in place. The chair is giving a little assist through the arms, but concentrate on the core doing the work to hold you straight, hips straight to the floor, parallel with the floor. Up and back down. Very small movement on this. Step it down. Walk into the chair, roll the shoulder blades back, go into a cow, back if you were yoga-ing, and step back. Plus, this is just a great stretch for the hamstrings and the glutes. You're going to take the other leg. First thing, just slide it out behind you. Get your balance here first. Knee's got a little bend in it in the front. Knee's right over the ankle. We're going to roll those shoulder blades back, pushing up through the back of the chair, and lift a little bit off the floor and back down again. Tap the toe lightly. Again, you want to be in control of every inch of this. And back down, working those fine motor muscles. Up, hold. So the other thing we're working, and I've left that out completely, is the glutes. The glutes are contracting to lift that entire leg up. So you're not bending at the knee. You're using those muscles, top of the leg, to lift the entire leg up. And back down. Up, hold, and back down. Step up into the chair. Oh, we are so out of time. It's so much more I want to do. Go ahead and sit down. Grab a drink if you need it. We're going to finish up, do some stretches here. There was a time when I was younger, when I sat down or got up, that I didn't go, I didn't do that at all. That sound never came out of me when I was sitting or standing. Now, absolutely every time. All right. Arms down at the side, shoulder blades back. Find your neutral first. Arms up over the top. Shoulder blades are back, chest stays out. Should have a little more flexibility, a little more range of motion here. Deep breath in through the nose, stomach up, bring the arms down as you come to the bottom. Right hand outside the left knee, left thigh. Grab onto the back of the chair with that left arm. And shoulder blades back, chest is out. Always get your form before you start. Knees stay right where they are. Nothing moves up front. Only thing that's moving is that shoulder girdle. Bring you around. Shoulder blades back one more time. Get a good rotation. You can rotate farther when you've got the shoulder blades back and the chest out. And safely, because spine's right there, all stacked up nice and even. So as you do that rotation, vertebrae move. No obstructions. And back to the front. Right there, feet apart. Hands on the thighs. Coming down between. You want to make sure you've got that neutral. Couple reasons your hands are on the thighs. First, push into it and drive those shoulders back so that as you come down, you're keeping that neutral position. You're going to feel the stretch up through the lower back. Coming down between inner thighs, get in on this one too. And now, second reason is you're going to push through the palms of the hands to come back up. Again, keeping those shoulder blades back. It's a push-up. It's a push-up, just without getting on the floor. And bring it up. Next one, we're going to let the shoulders go forward, down. Chin does not come down to the chest like mine just did. Don't do that. Spine stays neutral. That should never change, that gap between the chin and the chest. And reach under the chair as far as you can. Shoulders, roll them down toward the floor. So you're rolling the shoulders in and stretching out that upper back as well as the lower back. For this one, hands out to the side. Again, push up on the thighs, rolling the shoulder blades back as you come up. For this one, you use the upper body to bring you back up. We're not trying to strengthen here. We're trying to stretch. All right, my favorite, fingers intertwined. Palms away if you can do it. If not, palms down. But if you can't get all the way over, work your way up to it. Get a little rotation in the palms. Out, out, out until you can get them all the way up. Palms facing out that way works the fingers, the wrists, the hands, all the way up the arms. You get a much better stretch. Get that ear inside the upper arm as you come down into a side bend. Reach over. You want to feel a great stretch through the shoulder, all the way down into the hands, and all the way down to the hips. Don't let that sits bone come up off the chair. Up on top. Other side. What we did over there, we're going to do over here. And down. Keep yourself straight. You want to do one thing with that spine. All we're doing is bending to the side. You don't want to bend forward at the same time. Bring it up. Bring the arms down. Shake that out. Grab onto the back of the chair. Little cat-cow action, going back to that seated yoga. Chest out, shoulder blades back. I jest about yoga. I am certified in yoga, but it's just too slow for me. It's not my style of training. Back. And I love Lisa for her being able to do yoga. Hands on the thighs, roll the shoulders forward. Deep breath in, stretching out the upper back. Exhale as you bring your hands around to the back. Grab on. Deep breath in, push the stomach out so you can feel the lower lungs open up so you can get air down in there. That's what gets it into the bloodstream. And bring it back to center. Shake that out. Couple hip hinge forward. Just let the arms rotate. Just kind of hang there. Spinning around like tops or a dreidel. Whatever. Other way. Just enough to get those shoulders really relaxed here. Really relaxed. And shake that out. Come on back up. You're going to collapse onto the thighs this time. So bring it all the way down. What we're trying to do is tighten up those core muscles, driving all the air out of the lungs so that we can get a full lung full of fresh air. So come down underneath the arms, underneath the legs if you can. or just come down as far as you can, hands underneath, and then shoulder blades come back first, arms come up, then you come up. So we're using the entire body to get you back up again without having to use the lower back. Deep breath in through the nose, stomach out. Feeling the lower lungs get full of air, coming back down on top of the thighs. Push the stomach against the thighs, getting all the air out of the lungs. So force it out. And shoulder blades back, arms up. Then you come up, staying in that neutral position. Arms up over the top of the head. Deep breath in. Out. And back down again. Sprinkly fingers. I do that every time. Not sure why, but I do it. All right. We're good. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it.